Hello, my name is Hannah Han and I'm from the LA region,
My name is Paul. I'm from the LA region.
and we're going to be presenting the Karakbang CVDIP.
Um, so God gave evangelists the covenant and their vision. From dream to practice, those are found by mankind through the covenant and vision. And I'll be talking about the God-given covenant and vision to the evangelist Pastor Rue. So Pastor Rue was living in a very hard time. He was struggling uh, at the same time where there were churches without the gospel. He needed to find the way to save his field. Pastor Wu started to read evangelism books, which didn't lead him to the solution to save his field. So he went for the Bible, and God gave him grace by finding Acts 1138, which gave him a thought about world vision and world evangelization. And Matthew 16, 13 to 20. In Matthew 16:16, it says, Simon Peter answered, You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. Pastor Ru realized that Jesus Christ is the only key to solve many problems, which comes down to one problem, which is spiritual problem. Simon Peter and Pastor Ru are both related because they both held to the key, which is Jesus is the Christ.
So our the Karakbang's vision was all based off of the history of the Karakbang. Oh.
I think that God made Pastor Ru go through this so that Pastor Ru can have a time to think about these churches without the gospel and about world evangelization. World evangelization is so important because of the amount of people suffering at this age. God showed Pastor Ru that we need to restore the gospel. Pastor Ru saw these people who were lost and realized that if he didn't act, then they'll be elsewhere. God used Pastor Ru to do world evangelization because he held onto the covenant, which is Jesus Christ. God raises us to be a summit, a true witness, and a disciple, which is shown in Acts 1:8. Acts 1:8 says, But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you, and you will be my witness in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. Just like David and Joseph, they both were in some kind of trouble, but God raised them up as people who eventually saved the field.
So our dream was the Karakbang's dream was originated from Acts 1:8, and Reverend Yu's goal was 40,000 disciples in Busan, 400,000 disciples in Korea, and all in all 10 million disciples to fulfill worldwide evangelization. And he started off with Busan because in the Bible verse Acts 1:8, it's where you start from, which is Jerusalem, and he started from Busan. Our image was based off of Acts 1, 1, 3, and 8. And since he had to go through the 62 life points throughout his life, he came up with 62 witnesses. He also went through the filling of the Holy Spirit and the 5 powers for world evangelization, which is spiritual, intellectual, financial, physical, and manpower.
This is the prayer of enjoying the filling of the Holy Spirit and 5 powers. Dear living Father God, I truly thank you for allowing me to hold on to the covenant of Christ to pray to you at this time. I believe Christ is the answer to all life problems and that he is the Lord of my life. Would you please work upon me by filling with the Holy Spirit as I pray to you? Spiritual power. May I be filled with the Holy Spirit that God gives. Acts 1:8. Intellectual power. May I be filled with the wisdom of God. Proverbs 2:6 and Romans 12:3. Physical power. Would you grant me strong health to carry out the commission you have given me? Joshua 14:11. Financial power. Would you give me the financial power to save the 4 fields? 1 Chronicles 29:10 to 14. Manpower. Would you give me the interpersonal relationship skills to establish God's kingdom together. Romans 16. Oh, I pray for all this time in the name of Jesus, Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Through this image, Pastor Yu came up with the dream of RUTC, RU, and RTS. RUTC is basically Remnant Unified Training Center, and RU is Remnant Unity, and RTS is Remnant Theology Seminar. Remnant Unified Training Center is to gather all remnants and basically teach them about the true gospel. And RTS is for pastors, lay leaders, and multi-ethnic groups. For image, by holding on to Acts 1, 3, and 8, he rides the flow of the prayer, rises to the spiritual summit, and thinks about the world evangelization for the disciples all today. What is Tarakbang? Tarakbang is the evangelism movement, word movement, and prayer movement. In order to fulfill word movement, we have to fulfill prayer movement. Tarakbang is a place where a saved person can confirm their identity as within salvation, and it is also the place to fulfill God's will and enjoy answers to prayers. It's to discover why the unbelievers are suffering in posterity. It's a place to confirm that Jesus Christ is the real solution, and it's a place to learn and confirm that evangelization is a method and it's what God does. So for practice, like I said, to fulfill word movement, you have to fulfill prayer movement. There's 24-hour prayer, concentrated prayer, healing, summit, deep breathing, and 20 strategies of evangelism, 5 basic systems. For deep breathing can help a lot with physical health. It can also help with intellectual health and spiritual development. And that's how you can reach the summit. And this is all for world evangelization. And Paul can talk about the 5 paths or the 5 basic systems.
Okay, so in total there are 20 systems of Tarakbang, but these are the 5 basic systems. First is Tarakbang, which is the word movement, tea ministry, blessing of meeting, mission home, life of an evangelist, specialized church, which is field, regional church, evangelize to the region.
Through all of these, like regional churches, churches are established in regions, so it can evangelize to the whole region, and this can provide world evangelization and healing centers that are also established.